Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you? It's good to see you. It's been a
Uh,
while.
yeah, it has been a while. How have you been?
I've been fantastic.
That's
Been fantastic.
that's good. How's your business and stuff going?
We're doing good, kid. We're doing all right. We're doing good. Got some things in the works coming up.
Yeah,
Um,
that's good. Nice.
I started my live stream back up every Friday morning, and
Oh, good,
you
good.
know, I've got some other things in the works. I've been invited to teach at a local pagan festival coming up first weekend of
Nice.
October.
That sounds
So,
fun.
got a shamanic teaching that I'm preparing to um,
Cool.
start in January, 6 month
Cool.
program for serious initiates. So,
Great. That's awesome stuff. Good. That's great. Yeah. Okay, so are we doing your numbers today?
yes,
Okay.
yes, I'm going to do mine again.
Okay, cool. I don't think I've ever given you a whole reading, have I?
No, not really.
Like a partial maybe a few times.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
sure. Yeah. Okay. So what is your birthday?
5/6 of 76.
Okay. Okay. I did remember that you're stacked on the mental, so that's good. So
The mental Buddha, as you called it.
yes, you're the mental Buddha. Okay. 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 So so do you have any questions before I start? And do you have anything like anywhere that you wanted me to go with this?
Um, just maybe toward the end of this year, what's happening the rest of this year, maybe some hidden gifts that I might not be aware of, or things
Okay.
I may need to be watch out for. Um, you know,
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so do you need me to explain numerology or do you like have a good understanding at this point?
no, I've got a pretty good understanding because
Okay.
I read the numbers similar to you. That's how I was attracted to you because
Okay.
the normal way didn't resonate with me. And
Yeah.
then whenever I met you, it's like, okay, this clicks. That's why they've always registered with me this way.
Yeah.
You
I
know?
mean, I've thought that, it might be part of like the initiative to get us to not understand by teaching us a different way, because
Right.
this way seems to be very, very accurate every time. And the other way kind of is very vague, that's what I've
Yeah.
found.
Yeah.
So I think it's part of like the societal thing, that's just my
Well,
belief about it.
and
So
I've always been a numbers guy. I was always very good at math. I even had a
yeah,
job that involved a lot of math as a firefighter, as a driver operator dealing with pumps and water
yeah,
pressures and flows and stuff like that. So
yeah,
numbers have always sort of resonated with me, and
yeah,
they have a certain vibe and frequency, and the way
yeah,
you described it is like, okay, this matches this sort of,
yeah,
so I started feeling
yeah,
deeper into them a little bit,
yeah,
and they've kind of got their own flavor and color and you know
yeah, of
taste
course.
and
And
stuff.
it well, I've said, more recently, like teaching class and everything, I've said that I feel like the numbers are kind of like alive. I've always felt that they're alive, but I feel like they're almost like beings of their own, like if you could think of them as like a being, like the five is a being, the six is a being, the one is
Yeah,
a being, that actually will help you understand the differences between their vibrations because you can think of them as someone that exists, rather than just an inanimate object because they're not really. They're just like crystals, like they have a frequency of their own. So, but
yeah,
yeah,
and that's essentially what I'm teaching at
yeah,
the Pagan Pride event is connecting with spirit. I've been asked to teach, connecting with spirit. Well, I mean, it's
yeah,
all spirit, and everything's got its own personality, its own flavor, its own vibe, its
yeah,
own wavelength, if you will. And to connect, you just got to kind of tune your radio into it. and
Hmm.
expand your awareness into it.
Yeah.
So
Well, you're really good at that because you not only have like you have the seven, which gives you a lot of abilities, like it gives you a lot of like it gives you past life knowledge, it gives you connection to the Akashic records, and it gives you like it gives you it helps you tap into divine wisdom, like it gives you that spirit guide connection, and it gives you that like you're also someone who works within the layers of reality rather than surface level of reality. So you're always working like above and beyond reality, and you're kind of like always in the multi layers of it, like you're never really here, you're kind of everywhere, and then you
yeah,
bring all of that together. And then you are a teacher, like you're a natural teacher. So that means that you're going to take complex things and you're going to make them simplified, and you're going to then deliver them. You're also a teacher, though, of how not to be in certain ways, too. Like, you are someone who is very, like, I would say that you're like a gentle hearted person. You get your feelings hurt very easily. You do things, take things personal. And you definitely you'll walk around thinking that things are about you that aren't, like that's kind of like because you're so sensitive, like you will do that. And so that will teach other people to kind of walk on eggshells around you. It'll create relationship issues a lot of times. And so you'll be teaching people how not to be that way, but also then you'll have that beautiful heart. So like people will want to be like you, they just don't want to be as sensitive, and they don't want to be somebody that no one can approach, because they're not sure how to approach you, so I would say, like, if you ever had an area of your chart that you wanted to work on, it would be that you want to make sure that you're very approachable, that you are very kind, because you could get very ego driven, and you could get very sorry, I'm trying to think of the right word. um you could start thinking that you're smarter than everybody because you're very intelligent, so you could start thinking that people are stupid, and then you'll kind of have like this like the superiority thing. That's what I was trying to say. And then, so those are the areas that you would want to work on. You would want to make sure that you're approachable, that you're kind, that you're gentle almost to other people, and that you give them their space. The other thing that could show up is a little bit of narcissistic behavior, and it's not because you're a narcissist, it's because you have learned how to take care of yourself and think about yourself. And sometimes you lose sight of the people around you, so it's not necessarily that you are that, although it could be like you could end up, going into that. um that's just those are like the harder things, and then
sure. Those are things that I've actually worked on a lot throughout my life and
I
over
bet.
the last couple years since I've started down this journey, started, down this
Yeah,
road of
yeah,
stepping into my more authentic self, my, as a teacher, as a leader, and
yeah,
um, as an energy worker,
yeah,
you know. Um,
yeah.
so yeah,
Well, and one thing I do remember about you is that your dad has very similar numbers, and
yeah,
that he's the very destructive side of the numbers. So like I'm not saying he doesn't have good qualities, but I remember him being on the more destructive side. And I think that that's really awesome that you've had an example like that, because
yeah. He has the same 5, 6, and 7, but he's also got an 11. So
which would make him very difficult.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So,
So that was my example of what not to be,
yes.
and
Yeah.
that was initially whenever I started down this, you know, hollowing out process to become,
Yeah.
who I am.
Yeah.
Um, was part of the catharsis was the sleeve tattoos, right? You know,
Yeah.
he was a rodeo clown, and I put the faces, the clown faces that I didn't want to be on there because of him. And
Yeah.
as I've gone through this journey, I realized that these are my masks, these are my faces that I've worn. So they're reminders of not to be that way, you know. So
Yeah.
it's become very easy now to not be that way because
Yeah.
I've practiced it for so long, you know, because
Yeah.
first it's a practice, then it's a habit, then it's just the way.
Yeah, I mean, our parents are the best examples for us of what to be and what not to be. We're really lucky because the dynamic that we come in with is that, like, whatever we're working on, our parents are going to be the extreme of almost like 99% of the time, you know, and that's really good because that's actually a service that they're doing for us so that we can become better, than they could be, Um, your chart is very difficult. You have a lot of very difficult things in this chart. Specifically, your goal numbers are like you only have two goal numbers because of the way that it ends up, and they're the hardest. Like not the hardest, but they're very difficult ones. So I'll read to you what it says, but I'll also tell you what it means because I don't write down what it means.
24.
Yeah, the 24.
Yeah.
So I don't talk about the 24 publicly usually because it's a very difficult number. So the very vanilla answer is you're here to seek guidance to get on the right path, to not let your emotions rule you. Now, when it says seek guidance, it doesn't mean go pay someone like me. It means, the above, yes. It means spirit guides, God, all of that, source energy guidance. Okay. It means get in touch with who you are and connect to where you came from so that you can walk this path the way that you want to. Now, the truth about the 24, the hard truth that I don't talk about, I didn't even teach about it until they asked me outright to teach about it. So the 24 is actually the claws of the dark forces. And what that means, it doesn't mean that you're in the grips of it like it sounds, okay? It means that the dark forces are always knocking at your door. It means that drugs and alcohol are always being offered to you. You're going to go down that road probably at some point if you haven't already. I don't know your past, but okay, that's good. Um, uh, but it's always going to be there. And so I've known people with this number, their life is just, it's kind of like this constant taunting, all the time going, be dark, be dark, be dark. You could be dark, you could be dark. The reason why that's there, and I have a few people in my class with this that you would never think even would have it, okay? But it's like, it's because you're such a high soul. It's because you have such light in you that the darkness is trying to get you, like they're trying to get their hands on you. And so what I want you to know is that there's going to be times in your life where you dance with that darkness, and there's going to be times where you shun that. And what you're always trying to do, so there's nothing wrong with the darkness. There's nothing that good and bad is not actually a thing. And so it's like there's no real good or bad, and there's no right or wrong. Like you could be good just as you could be bad. Nobody cares. Like nobody on the other side cares. We need both. So that's always a choice with you, okay? The thing is, you're trying really hard to be good, and the darkness is always trying really hard to be your friend? And so it's like always this, like, I think you fall into it, and then I think you get out of it, and then I think you fall into it again and you get out of it. That's what it feels like. It feels like it's a wave kind of thing, and that's fine.
Early in my life, it was very much like that.
Yeah.
Early on in my life, it was very much like that. But
Mhm.
since, like I said, over the last 5 years, yeah, really since Taylor passed in 2020, really before then, but it kind of started in that year.
Yeah.
Um, it's been no, it's been I've been in the light, but I've understood my power, right?
Yeah.
The whole claws and the dark forces, whenever as soon as you said that they're piping in over the top, that is your 12th house Leo moon, right? That is you being in the darkness. That is part of that.
Yeah.
Um, and I've named my company Walks in Darkness LLC.
Oh, okay. That's
It's
interesting. That's funny.
after one of my spirit guides, you know, or that's
Yep.
a past life or concurrent life, parallel
Yeah.
life, whatever you
Yeah.
want to
Yeah.
view it. So that really tracks.
Yeah. That's good because it's good to be aware of it, you
Yeah,
know.
and now it's like you said, you know, carrying such a light, and then I do vibe high. I have no problem walking in there. You
Yeah.
know, it's like the pagan pride event, the pagan pride festival. It's going to be filled with it,
Yeah, of
filled
course.
with that energy, right?
And
Because there's going to be a ton of people there that work with those darker forces
yeah.
because they hold that fearful vibration. But
Yes.
I'm just going to walk in there shining because I know the brighter I shine, the harder it is for the darkness to find me and get to me.
Well, they can't touch you.
Yeah,
And that's the thing. And that's always their fear is that they won't be able to touch you because you will vibrate out of their realm. I know this is crazy, okay, for the work that we do, okay, but I actually forgot that entities were real until I entered Laura's world because I had not dealt with them for so long. I used to deal with them my whole life. They were always there, okay? And I dealt with a lot of that. But then I just kept practicing and I got my vibration so different that I forgot that they existed. And then people reminded me and I went, "Oh yeah, right, that's a thing." But then that had me face it because I was scared of it then again. Because
right,
I don't want that entering my life again because that was hell. That was literally
right.
hell. I did not want to go through that anymore. And then I realized the darkness isn't scary to me anymore. And I realized that they're not actually evil, that there's no such thing. And I'm not scared of it. Like I had a demon kind of like I don't want to say introduce himself because I knew him. Like I recognized him when I saw him. He didn't introduce himself. He just kind of nodded his head at me. And I realized that we were on the same level just in different places. Like he was like a leader of the darkness and I'm like a leader of the light and we were at the same frequency that way, only
Yeah.
opposite. And we respected each other. And it was really cool because I didn't realize that they're just doing their job, just like I'm just doing my job. And that's okay because we're making pacts to have them help us,
Yeah.
by hurting us and things like that. So, like, I have a whole new understanding the last couple of years, and I feel a lot different about it. I've always known it's just a choice and it doesn't matter, because my when I had my near death experience in my 20s, I was told that. I was told there is no right or wrong, there is no good or bad, there's no such thing, and we need bad to have good. So it doesn't really matter. Now your chart to me, even though you have those 24s because you have two of them because of the way it shows up, even though you have them, it's like I know that you choose the light. And I know that because your sixes scream that. Like because you are so connected to nature and so connected to animals and so connected to healing, like you're a healer. It's like I know that you're not doing that. I know that you fall into it though because I feel that or you have. I can feel that.
It was honestly, it was like exploration.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it was like, let's go look what's in here, you know. So
I think I would just worry if you ever had a time in your life where you felt really screwed over that you would get vengeful. And that would be the only time I think that they could taunt you, like they could not taunt you, but they could get you for a while again because you could fall into that. I don't think you're there though, and I don't think it's a threat or anything. I would just stay aware of it. Just always stay aware. And I know that you do, but I would just always stay aware of who you want to be in this world. And it's totally fine to choose the opposite way. That's okay too. It's just allow yourself to do what's right for you, whatever that is. That's that's really the right thing, you know? So what I was told recently, I've been told a lot of things about how creation works and how not really creation, how reality works lately because I'm writing a book. And I was told that we actually are calibrated to our life purpose, which I didn't know that. I know that that sounds normal. Well, it sounds normal to me now that I know it. But like when I didn't know it, that wouldn't have sounded normal to me. But like, or maybe it would have, but I didn't know it. Anyway, once you know it, you just know it. But
Yeah.
like they said, you're calibrated to your life purpose. So whatever you came here to do, you are actually calibrated to that. And whenever you meet that calibration, you're going to always be walking in your life purpose. And the more you do that, the more you find it quicker and all that. You know, obviously, I know my life purpose now, but I didn't used to. And I searched for it forever. And basically, what they told me is all you ever had to do was choose the thing that felt right. And the thing that is right for you will always only feel right to you. It's not right and wrong in society, it's right for you. So when you learn how to just put your hands on your heart and say, this feels better than this, or this feels better than this, that's how you actually meet your calibration right back to your life purpose. And that isn't right or wrong. You know what I mean? That just is. So so I've started to tell people just do what's right for you. Like, no matter if that makes sense to anybody else, that is your set point. And when you meet your set point, you're going to become the creator that you came here to be, you know. But I do think that you're really on task with your purpose. Like, you feel like that to me. You have a little bit of scattered energy. Like, I can feel a little bit of like fraying at the edges where I don't know if you get overwhelmed or you get like maybe you take on too much. Like it feels like you have times where you definitely don't, you're not settled. Like it's an unsettled feeling. And it's an
Yeah,
emotional.
it's the hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
It's the,
Yeah.
the story of my life, the hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Okay, you go here, now wait. Okay, now do this. Okay, now wait.
That's
And now do this and
yeah.
this and that, right? And I
Yeah.
understand why, because like I said, over the last couple of years, the gnosis, once you know, you can't unknow. And you
Yes.
know, I've learned a lot about creation and reality and how we create our reality
Yeah.
and those things, and that's the stuff I'm teaching. But the
Yeah.
calibrated to the life purpose and the life path, that resonates too, because like I've always felt like I'm here to serve and be a servant,
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
and then it's a natural thing for me,
Yeah.
right? And it's just like you say, it's just do what comes naturally, what feels right, and what comes naturally. And for me, it's just
Yeah.
talking to
Yeah.
people, it's just tapping into them, having conversations with them, and that's whenever, as soon as they ask me a question, that's when the channel opens and it just
Yeah.
happens. It's been amazing. It's been
Yeah.
amazing the last couple years.
Yeah.
Tapping into that and tapping into that higher awareness and actually allowing entity, deity to take over my vessel and speak,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, on
So
multiple occasions. So
do you experience where they take over or do you experience where they speak through you? Like what are you present when it's happening or do you allow your whole body to be taken? Which is
I,
I just don't do it
um,
that way. I just
yeah,
wonder.
I'm sort of semi in and out.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sort of semi in and out at this point.
Okay.
I've had them come in and take over, and
Yeah.
I've been out, and whenever I come back, it's like, okay, what happened, what did they say,
Yeah.
because I don't really remember some of it. And then some of the
Yeah.
time it's like I'll catch bits and pieces,
Yeah.
right, like the overall meaning of the message that was
Yeah.
delivered,
Yeah.
but
So
not
so
really
you
remember
allow
much of it.
yourself to be like a physical channel?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah,
I've never been
I've been
brave enough for
working
that.
on that a lot here lately.
Yeah. I've had
Yeah.
that happen to me a few times in my life where I start channeling and I don't remember anything I said. I really wasn't there, you know, and then people will tell me later what I said because I'll predict things like I predicted someone's death, but I didn't even know I did that until after she died. And then my teacher, this was in high school, my teacher pulled me aside and she goes, "Oh my God, are you okay?" And I said, "Why are you asking me?" You know, and she said, "You said that he was going to kill her." And I said, "No, I didn't. I didn't know that." And all the people in the class remember me telling them the whole story about what was going to happen. My ex shot his girlfriend and killed her by accident. And but I didn't know that. Like I didn't even know I said it. But I've had that happen a few times in my life. I've never like had it, you know, I've never allowed it, you know, but I also am starting to have people come through my channel. Like I'm doing a lot more medium stuff where I'm not really, I don't feel like I'm a medium, but I am a medium. And so I'm looking into training for that now because I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
I've
So
been working on my evidential mediumship
yeah,
here lately a lot too. So
yeah,
and it's weird how things come back around, or
yeah,
how you can be on your path and how it curves and zigzags and things come
yeah.
back to you, and
Yeah. Well, because I think
it's a
it's a
spiral.
loop. Yeah, I think it's a loop, and I think that you
Yeah,
just keep
it's a spiral.
experiencing different phases of everything. Um, anyway, so you are a natural teacher. You are someone who is walking that path. Like you are very much in that energy. Like I feel that energy very strongly. But then you also have this like you're not always just the teacher. Like you're a spirit guide as well. Um, but it's not even that. It's like you are also someone that will sit in the classroom. Like I feel both. Like I feel you as being the head of the class and also the student of the class.
Very
And
much so.
and I like that energy because that's going to keep you humble because you definitely have trouble with being humble. Like that's one of your struggles is that you
Not anymore. It's not.
well, that's one of your themes, you know. So, well, and that's the point is that you're supposed to learn that. So, yeah.
Yeah, humility. Yeah, I'm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I don't know everything.
That's
I
good.
know I don't know
Yeah.
everything, and I know that I'm fallible,
Yeah.
and
That's good.
uh, so
Well, that keeps you human and that also keeps you
yeah,
relatable.
that that's
So,
a lot of it. That's my humanness, you
yes.
know.
And that's a good thing. Um you also so like in within the five has like morality and it has like you're somebody who is full of integrity, like you hold your own integrity, so you stay very much in integrity to what you say you will do, you do it. That's a really strong quality in a leader. That's a good thing.
I learned that early on in life.
Yeah, that's a
I learned
good.
that very early in life.
Yeah, you
Uh,
also came here with your own code. So, like, you're somebody who lives by your own code. It doesn't necessarily make sense to other people, but you don't break your own code, you know?
no,
So, that's a good thing because you came here since birth with that. So, that doesn't change. That's something that you were already here with the whole time. And then there's like this element where you do have this like business success in here. So, you asked about future stuff there is business success. So it's like you are definitely capable of being the businessman that really does balance it all and that brings in a lot of profit, you know. So you definitely have that. Um, I think that you struggle with it, you know, like it feels like you struggle with consistency, but I think that that's normal in this business to have like ups and downs. But that actually straightens out where a lot of the money stuff starts being more than less, you know, it's like I think it like what I'm seeing is like it'll go like 1 month you're really good and the next month you're really not and it'll keep kind of changing and it goes into a pattern where it's just up. You know, it just starts being up. And and then your only trouble is balancing the legal part of it, like the legal end of it. You do struggle a little bit with that because it doesn't make sense to you for some reason. Not that you can't comprehend it, just that there's a lot of legal terms and you get caught up in it sometimes when you try to do it. So I guess like what I'm hearing is like get outside help for that part or get your wife to do that maybe. Because that part could get you not okay again. Like that part could get all messy for you. But the actual money coming in, that feels like a floodgate opening. Like that feels like it's working, or not that it's working right now, but that it's going to be working. Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's going to just start being constant, and you're also going, or sorry, you're actually going to have like the opposite problem than you've had before, almost too many clients, and too much success because it like looks like you're a really successful businessman. Like that's what it looks like to me. But then you don't handle your own books. You kind of like I'm getting this feeling like okay, so they always show me stuff so I understand what I'm talking about. So like I always had this theory about the Dyson guy because and this is not real, okay? This is literally made up in my head, okay?
Yeah,
But
go ahead.
I always thought the Dyson guy, because I think I heard that he had like this separate little tree house or something where he works. I don't even know if this is true, but that's what I in my head, that's what I believe about him. He's got this like separate tree house where he works, okay? And every time he has an idea, everybody goes, "Oh, guys, get out of the way. He has an idea. He has an idea." And they just let him go think and do his thing. And then he comes back and he says, "This is my idea." And then they sell it and the world changes. Then he makes all this money and everybody around him just kind of goes, "We're just waiting for the next idea." So they're showing me that and they're saying like, "You are that person. You are that person where everybody understands that you're brilliant, that's in your world. And they kind of just like allow you to do your thing because you have this like zone of genius that they allow you to have. Now, if you are not surrounding yourself with people like that, it's time. It's time
Yeah,
to change that.
they're coming in.
Yeah.
They're coming. They're
So
coming.
that's so
They've been coming over the last year, filtering in, trickling in over the last year, 2 years,
So
slowly.
what you want, like the perfect scenario for you to create is for everybody else to handle like the menial stuff that you don't like, that you don't care about, like the books and the legal crap and all the dumb shit. And then you are just like you show up when it's time for you to show up and you do the things when you feel driven to do the things. You're not doing them just because you have to. It's not like a schedule. You're doing them because you feel driven to do them because you're also someone that does not work well on schedules. You're more free flowing, so you go with the
Time
flow of ideas.
because every time in the past when I've tried to like make a plan, right, make a
Yeah.
plan of action or plan things, it falls to shit. I
Well,
mean, it,
yeah,
it did it just this past weekend, right? I've got a couple shaman
yeah,
students that I teach every other Saturday for 2 hours. They come here and
yeah,
I teach.
yeah,
And so I had laid out the schedule for the rest of the year in my calendar earlier on
yeah,
last week. 2 days later, before class, they canceled
yeah,
and it threw the whole schedule off. Not only did they cancel, they're going to have to cut back on the class on the amount of time that they spend.
yeah, yeah,
Okay. So I don't plan anymore. I
yeah.
don't plan.
Well, you're not good at planning, and it's not because you couldn't do it. You totally could if you decided to, because you're capable of everything.
Yeah.
It's just that you're not you don't flow the best that way. So like you're somebody who you're a master manipulator of reality, okay? You're someone who bends reality at the edges, okay? Reality is not reality to you because you believe that everything is malleable and you believe that nothing has limits. So the only limits you really have are like the real limits, like gravity is real and you can't fly here and things like that. Like the real limits you understand, but the other limits there aren't any. And so you're not someone who does well with a schedule because you work really strongly on inspiration, and inspiration is a wave. It's like a river. And so when it comes, you have to run with it and you have to flow with it and you have to keep going as far as it will take you. Otherwise, you lose that. So you understand that. And if the people around you understood that too, then they would allow you that freedom. Now, you can't live in that all the time because we do live in society and we have to pay bills and all that shit. But only you only have to deal with that kind of stuff for a certain amount of your time, you know? And the rest of the time you really should dedicate to this free flowing energy field, you know, because you live best in that state. That's not really realistic, you know, all the way. But I will say I live that way. You know, like
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very similar
I'm
to
up here
you and
most
I
of the
live
time.
that way. Yeah. I live by a schedule because I have to because of my clients. You know, I always show up if I say I'm going to show up. I have the same integrity thing, you know. But if I don't have to show up for anything, I'm all the way into that inspiration field, you know, and I will live there because it carries me everywhere I need to go, you know. And I'm not a planner. Like I don't have any, I have the same numbers as you. Like I have the 5 and 7, and the 5 and 7 say that, you know. um the thing is, like, I have a little bit more structure than you have. So you don't live in any boxes. I live in a bit of a box, you know, because I'm willing to, but you're more like a nomad. And, you know, I'm actually surprised you live in a house because you really actually feel like you should live in the woods to me, you know?
Yeah, I know. I really should. I
Yeah.
really should. Man, I, part of this challenge about running a business and starting a business and
Yeah.
putting myself in public to teach and this and that and the other and getting people in is I have to put myself out there
Yes.
because
Which is hard.
I would be perfectly contented being the guru that sits off in the forest that somebody has to come on a journey to find.
That's exactly what I see is
And
you, that guy in the
the only
mountain
way
in a
they
hut.
know about him is because somebody's cousin's brother's sister's uncle went to
Yeah.
him and it was miraculous.
Well, so you are working up to that actually. Like it feels like that to me. It feels like I totally see you on top of a mountain in a hut, only it's like a stone structure, not like an actual hut. And you're sitting in there and people are coming to you, but you're an old man. So I don't know if I'm seeing like a past life or a future here, but it's like you're working up to that point or you've done that before, but you very much have that vibe where the whole
It's
village
both.
comes to you, you know?
It's both.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
both. It really is. It really is. I'm I've learned that since I've started this process, going through the past life regression, the past life retrieval, soul retrieval, destiny, all
yeah,
that stuff,
yeah,
shamanic process, and
yeah,
it's been a an awakening, a remembering, and a lot of those things, those archetypes that you're describing,
mhm,
I have lived that, and I'm
yeah,
here to do that again,
yeah.
essentially.
That's what it feels like to me. And it feels like you're just kind of like you're doing what you have to do right now, but that's not really what you want to do all the way. And
This is I've been told like this is like I'm just now like halfway in my
mhm,
linear progression of life,
yeah,
and that this is basically starting over. This is the new birth in the new me. The first half was learning, you
yeah,
know, going through the hard lessons and learning
yeah.
how creation works, and now it's achieving mastery and teaching others.
Yeah,
That's
so
where you
they're
that's
also showing me stone books with like ancient writing or something. Like first I thought they were telling me that you need to write a book. That's what I was going to say, but then I didn't say it because it wasn't formed all the way, like the thought. But now they're showing me like a stone book, like stone books, like slabs of stone with like this like ancient writing in it. So
talent,
I don't know if you.
like the cuneiform.
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you have access to something like that or you have ancestral knowledge that you can tap into. Definitely the ancestral knowledge actually, because as soon as I said that they said yes. Okay. So you have this ability to tap into something from another life that either you wrote or you studied. And so that's where the man on the hill is. Like that's what that's about. Like you have some kind of access to ancient knowledge. And so when you tap into that fully, more fully, because you've tapped into a lot of it already, when you tap into that more fully, that's where you're going to find this like key that unlocks that other part that you're looking for, because you're there, like you're doing what you're supposed to do, but you're in the baby stages almost, or even like a little bit past the baby stages.
Yeah.
But you're working toward more. The other thing I saw you doing, which is just odd, was I saw you as a computer programmer. And I think I saw a life where you had a choice. Like I saw a split. Like it was like you could have went this way or you could have went that way and you chose this way. And that was just an odd thing because I went, what? You
Yeah,
know?
actually, that's part of the team that I need to put that I'm trying to work to find to get together that is starting to come in,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Is somebody to take care of the tech to do this kind of stuff for
yes,
me, right? Where I
yeah.
just show up and I talk.
And that's what you should be doing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, I would say just be careful because when you get to that point, don't get lost in your ego with that
yeah,
because you are going to be in a place where people do kind of worship you a little bit. Like, please be careful with that because that
oh,
energy can get very scary.
yeah. I've learned. I think the last several years, part of this process was that they wanted me to do was master my energy, my own energy, which is why they kept me in isolation for so long,
Yeah,
right? To
yeah,
master energy. That way I know what's mine and
yeah,
what's mine. Because
yeah.
like you said, I am very sensitive. I mean,
You are.
extremely sensitive
Yeah,
to
but that's
people.
a
I
good
mean,
thing.
I just get in contact. They just talking, and I feel what's going on with them, right? So that's
Yeah,
why they wanted me to understand what's my emotions and what's not. And basically, when I'm by myself, I don't have emotion. I'm empty. I'm
yeah.
just I've equated myself to like the Zoltar machine in Big, just sitting here waiting for somebody to come drop the quarter in for the divine wisdom to just come flowing out.
Yeah. Well, you have a lot of emotional regulation, even though you have very strong emotions. That's why it's been hard for you because you harbor your emotion. Like you hold them inside of you and they become like this deep well inside of you. So like but your seven is so strong and your seven is like, yeah, I don't have to have emotions unless I want to. And that's really crappy feeling. Like that's a really crappy way. That's where your drugs came from, just so you know. Like that's where the you needed an outlet because you wouldn't allow yourself. And that's probably also your dad, it's social conditioning, it's life, being a man in this world, holy shit, like you guys go through a lot, where you're not allowed to have emotions and crap. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, that's all that stuff. But that's good too. It's good that you've had all of that, and it's good that you've experienced all the depths of the harder stuff because now you get to shine and you get to be in the better part of your life. And you're definitely in the better part of your life. I would strongly caution you, do not go down the road of drugs or alcohol anymore. Like if I know you know, have put it behind you, but just know that like that will crash and burn everything. And it's like it's always right there, kind of just there. It's there. I feel it. So it's always right there going, but it won't hurt. It's okay. Um, it'll be okay just one time. Like that's how it feels to me right now.
yeah,
And and I see your whole life fall when I see that. And so it's like your vibration is getting so high that that will just drop you in an instant and it's not worth it. And not that you want to do it. I'm just saying like just be careful of those things because of that 24 you have that temptation constantly saying I'm here, I'm here, I'm here, and I can feel it there, like it's there. So like just be mindful that everything that you want is where you're headed, and everything that you want to leave behind is that taunting shit. Like it'll always be there, but it can't get you. It can't have you unless you say yes. So, uh,
Choice. I've learned. Yeah, I
yeah.
understand that.
Well,
Holy.
and as much as I wanted to say write a book, I'm not seeing write a book. I'm seeing I am seeing like a manuscript though, or like how people write like manifestos. I know that's like crazy people do that, but that's more what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a thick manual kind of thing about it's the manual of living or the manual of life or something like that. It's like it's some kind of like you instructing people how to be or something like that. That's what it looks like to me. I don't, that's just how I'm interpreting it. So I don't know if that's literal, but I am seeing you write something that's more like a workbook but longer. And that is something that you could become known for actually, like publicly. So I'm not seeing a full book. Not that you couldn't do that, you totally could, but like they're showing me what your path is, like to getting to where this place is that you're trying to go. I do see you living in the woods. Like in some format. Okay. Like I don't know if it's long term, short term, but I do see you teaching from the woods, and I do see you a little rough. So it looks like you've been there for a while and you're wearing like thinner clothes. So it like less clothes. So it looks like it's warm there. It could be jungle maybe. But I definitely see that. Like I see you going off the beaten path and kind of like teaching among the people. Um, I just see you doing that. I don't know if that's temporary though, or if that's like, what you're working toward. So, but I don't know. I mean, I know that
Yep.
sounds crazy. And I just,
Suppose whenever we start talking about this stuff, and you got your guides, and I've got mine over here, and they're like,
yeah,
"Listen, pay attention, pay
yeah,
attention. This is like missionary type shit that we've been talking about."
that's what it feels like. It feels like missionary work.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it really does feel like that because I'm seeing it in different places like that are not here, like I keep seeing like Brazil maybe or Africa. I don't know. I don't even know places, but I'm
Yeah.
seeing the word Brazil. So I don't know anything about Brazil. Um, but I'm seeing that and I'm seeing like darker skinned people near you, like not necessarily like dark dark, but like maybe like Mexican color, like Spanish. I don't know. That's what I'm seeing. Um, I don't know. I don't know what I'm seeing. I'm just telling you what I'm seeing. Like, because it never makes sense to me. It should make sense to you at some point though. And I'm seeing a lot of greenery. So it's like it feels like a jungle because it's vibrant green, and it feels like you're in the heart of it. And I don't know if you're there like for a long time, like you live there. I just know that you're there for at least like a summer, like at least a few months. Like it looks like you go from place to place because I also see you in a town where there's a lack of water, but you're providing it somehow, or you're helping them understand it, or something like that. It does feel like missionary work. It really does. So I don't know if you've been called to that, but it's
They've
somewhere.
they've kind of mentioned it a little bit,
Yeah,
off and on, a couple times.
yeah,
Flash that kind of at me here and there. So
yeah. So for me, that feels scary. Like I wouldn't even do that. Like that to me, I would be scared to do that. But for you, it feels very natural and it feels very safe and it feels very much like your element, like you are a survivor in that kind of place and you would be fine. It doesn't seem like the whole thing wouldn't be rough. Like it would still be rough, but you like that somehow. And that
simplicity.
makes sense.
It's because of the simplicity, the simple nature of it. It's
Yeah.
ba- basic humanness, I
I mean,
think, and
yeah,
it's the adventure. You
yeah,
know, that's some of my, yeah, that's in my
yeah.
chart too.
Well, and
My
truthfully, you don't feel like you belong in society to me. Like, not that you don't fit, like you're fine in society. It's just that you feel like you don't like it. Like you don't like
yeah,
it doesn't feel common or normal to you. And you feel more almost animalistic. Like not like that, but you feel like you relate better to animals and trees and people that live among the land. Like you feel like you relate better to that. And you
Very
relate better to a small village. I keep seeing you in a small village, like that's kind of like when I see you old, I see you in a small village being like the doctor or something or the healer, like the shaman of the village. I don't know. Um, it just makes sense.
gold,
It feels right.
gold. And
So,
it actually tracks. It makes sense with a lot of what I've seen, some of my destiny retrieval, right? It's like whenever I went into that stone and got to go to that end point, it was like described like you said, old, bearded, rough,
yeah,
wearing light colored, loose clothing
yeah, yeah,
in a in a jungle-ish type setting with
yeah,
a Stonehenge type
yeah,
altar setting around me, and people sitting there as an audience. And
yeah,
it started out here, and it like went through the seasons and showed me getting older, like age, and then the crowd just getting bigger and bigger, and then changing locations, and then the crowd just getting bigger and bigger, and then
yeah.
it's so okay.
Yeah.
All right,
I mean, that's
thank
good,
you.
right? I mean, it's all in
But
place
here's the
though,
sign.
so you know.
Whenever I talk to people, whenever I got people, and they're like, "Yeah, I've kind of, that makes sense," and I'm like, "Well, here's your sign," you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. What do you feel like you're headed toward? Like, what have you thought about?
Yeah, teaching, gaining as much knowledge here, and teaching as many people as I can, and like I don't want to develop followers, right? I want to create other
You're
leaders
going to develop
to do
followers.
that. I know, and I know I've
Yeah,
already got them. I've
yeah,
already got
yeah, yeah,
but within that grouping, there are individuals that I recognize leadership abilities within,
yeah, yeah,
right? And their abilities, and see their inner power. And so those are the ones that I've started reaching out to more and bringing closer to me, and trying to put together this team, essentially to do this kind of work.
it's a good
So,
idea.
you
Yeah,
know, one to deal with my legal and my financial stuff, one to deal with my tech stuff and do the
yeah,
production side of it, and another to run the website, and a shop if it eventually comes to that, and the booking and all that, and then say, here, Matthew, you this is what time you show up on this day for this person, and
yeah.
go here and teach this class. And I'm like, okay,
That's exactly how it feels like it should be. It should be like you're just given an itinerary. And of
yeah,
course, it's all stuff that you would want. Like it's not anything, no one else is doing it. It's just that they're managing it,
yeah.
and you're just showing up and doing your thing. That's what it feels like. But then there's also this like small town feel where you show up in villages as well, and you show up on the ground with people, in the woods with people, all of that. Maybe you camp out, you do like retreats that are like camp outs.
That's
Do
that's
that.
that's been done in the past, and that's actually in the
Yeah.
works for coming up sort of later this fall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that really is very strong in your energy field. Like
yeah,
that.
small groups of 10 to 20. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's good. And yeah, and then keep in mind this like manual or whatever it is, it's like it looks like it's like your view on how to live right or something. Like I don't know exactly what it is. Me and my daughter were talking about this guy that does coaching for men, and it's like to teach a man how to be a man. But he's an asshole and he shouldn't be doing that. But that's why we were talking about it. He's a really jerky guy.
The
Um,
irony,
yeah, but
don't teach them to be like that.
yeah, but yours is different, but it's like along those lines. It's not I don't know if it's necessarily teaching men how to be men, but it's teaching people how to use their heart instead of their grunt, I'm a man, that kind of crap. Um,
Teaching people how to align,
your head and heart.
and create
Well,
from a
you
place of
have
alignment, higher knowing.
you have like this very strong ability to understand things, because you're the mental Buddha, you're very intelligent. You've got this like direct awareness and understanding, and the intellect, you've got all that. But then you've also got this beautiful like heart and this heart energy where you want the world to be a better place. So like you're
Right.
really trying very hard to make the world a better place for you having been here. That's one of your very strong things. And that's why you're doing all of your work. So don't ever lose sight of that, which I don't think you could. But that's really what it is. And then you've got a twin flame focus, which I know you know that, but you've got a twin flame focus, so like your partner matters just as much as everything else,
Mhm.
which that's very obvious in your life, I think. um
Yeah, it's weird the way our relationship has changed over the last couple of years.
yeah,
Um, she's wanting to, before she was very social and I was kind of secluded, and now it's like I'm wanting to be out more and
yeah,
around people in community, and she's wanting to distance,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so now it feels like I'm just having to drag her some, but they have told me, just all you have to do is step into that role, step into that leadership role, that
yeah.
secure, aligned leadership role, and she'll follow. Don't worry about
Yeah,
her. She'll be
because you have a partnership. So like that's what it is. Like you're doing it in a partnership way. So she's gonna be there. Even if she's off on the sidelines while you're doing your thing, she's gonna be there, and she's gonna want to be there. Unless something changes, but she's gonna want to be there. Now that's where you have to be careful though. Like you have to be careful with how how you carry yourself, like how you treat her. Like I know you treat her well, but you have to be very, very kind to her because you have you have a strong tongue. You can have a strong tongue, you can have a strong like importance over yourself where you don't realize that she matters sometimes. You have to prioritize her, because you will lose her if you don't. Like that's what the chart is like kind of saying. Like,
Yeah, I know. I got a balance.
yeah,
It's a balance.
yeah,
It's challenging at times. It's
yeah.
challenging.
She's your number one though. So like she's gonna
Yeah,
be the best thing in your whole life as long as she always feels like she's important. So just make sure she always feels that way. Make sure she's not scared to approach you with anything and make sure that she feels so, so, so loved. Like give her that heart and soul, give her that passion, and then you're going to have this amazing cheerleader by your side. And that's what you need because you're not going to do well alone. Like you're going to be
no,
okay,
I
but
realize
you're
I
gonna be
have
so-
to have a group. I work in a team. I work in a
yeah,
group setting. I
yeah,
mean, that's why the fire service clicked for me, and I did so well
yeah.
in the fire service.
That would
You
make
know,
sense.
and I had guys looking up to me, older guys wanting to follow my advice, follow my guidance and my direction. I mean, it's one of those
Yeah,
natural things, like you said, that you just do
yeah,
it. It just happens, and
yeah,
and at the time I was afraid. I was nervous. I
yeah,
didn't want the responsibility, but I've come a long way since then. I understand the importance of my role here. I understand the responsibility that I carry, the weight of it, and the more importantly the importance of it, and
yeah,
the respect and reverence that I have for it now is
yeah.
it's different. So and I also understand, my challenge with the darkness, you know, um,
Mhm.
but I feel like I've achieved a level now and reached a place now where it's just I can see that stuff coming. I can see it coming, and it's so much easier for me to navigate around it or decide, how to engage with it if I can't avoid it. You know, so
I mean, I think you've matured a lot in the 2 years I've known you. I think
yeah,
I've known you for about 2 years.
yeah.
And I think the very first time I talked to you versus now, your energy field has shifted completely almost. Like, I think that you were more ego driven when I met you. And I think
Yeah.
you're a lot less ego driven now. I don't
No, it's
I
it's
don't
not
think
about
we
me.
always
It's
have
it's
ego,
about
but.
it's about, like you said, it's about leaving it better than I found it.
Yes.
And I seriously want to do that.
Yeah.
And I want to have a group of people that I can teach and create leaders to go and do that too, you
Yeah.
know.
And that's a movement. Like that's an
Yeah,
incredible movement. And you are the movement type. So like you totally could create a movement like that, you know. I would say you're more on the ground kind of movement. You're not like the corporate movement, you know,
no,
like
it's a
more like
grassroots.
you're
I'm
with
a very much a
everybody.
grassroots
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah. Well, and you're with the people, and that's a good way to do it. I think, you know, like although you have the capability for both, it's like you choose to be among everybody and you choose to see the difference that you're making rather than the ripple effect, you know, just happening. So that's I think that's admirable, you know, like that's a good way to be, you know. And I see your heart and soul. Like I think it's hard sometimes because you hide it, you know, like you don't have it right at the surface. This is my driving force, but I see it, I feel it. Like I feel that you really do care and that your intentions are good, you know, and pure, and you want the world better and you want all of that. I think that you've just struggled a lot in your life, and so it's hard for you to always be in alignment with that completely, but I think you are in alignment with that, you know? So,
Yeah, I'm in a different place in my life now. I'm ready. You know, I just turned
mhm.
49 a couple months ago.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
Back in the first house year, it's been and having a greater understanding and awareness of how it all works and why I'm here and the people in my life and understanding being able to read them and tapping into that and learning how to access that just
Mhm.
like that and that I have it always there, you know, in every conversation that I have, they're always chiming in and talking. So
No, you have a great relationship with your guides. Like I can feel that too. You are very, very guided and also very much guiding. Like you're a guiding force as well as being guided. So it's like I can feel your intentions being in alignment with your purpose, you know, where a lot of people I don't feel that. Like a lot of people feel so off their path. They just feel so lost, you know. You don't feel lost. You feel frayed at the edges. You know, you
yeah,
definitely have that. But
I've I've accepted the role that I came here to play.
yes.
as,
Yeah.
as a bridge, as a channel, you know, as that medium between the worlds, between the seen and the unseen, and feeling frayed at the edges. Yeah, sometimes it does get a little bit of that. I'm feeling a little frayed today. You know, I've got some things coming up this weekend. I've got my live stream tomorrow. I'm trying to get things done around here, you know, in
Of course.
preparation. So,
Yeah.
yeah, feeling a little afraid.
Oh, I'm
So,
always like that. So I get it. Like I'm
yeah,
a one-man show for my business, and my business is feels like it's jumping up and down in every direction all the time. And my inbox is always full, and my bank account is mostly empty. You know, not really, but it's like it feels like that because I have so many expenses at this point, you know, just to keep the whole damn thing going, you know. But but yeah, I totally get that. Like because I'm in the baby phase too, you know, like I'm in the newer part of my business just the first 5 years, and it takes a long time to get it all flowing the right way. I've also hired and fired like 6 people in the last year, you know, because I cannot find people that I work well with. Maybe I don't work well with anybody. I don't know, but I just can't find people that will do the things I ask them to do the way I want them to do them. And so I've just gone through so many people, and right now I don't have any help because I'm doing it all myself again because I'm just like, you guys won't do it right. I'm not paying you. You
yeah,
know, like I'm just not playing that game anymore. You know, so
yeah,
but yeah, I mean, I'm on the edge of hiring more people again, but it's just like it's hard. It's hard doing it all. And it's hard you know, this digital world, it seems like it's all flowing, but it's actually really complicated to make it all talk to each other and, you know, to keep all the ends balanced in every direction.
yeah. And that's where I desperately would like somebody to come into my life that can
Yes.
handle that part. Like I said, I
And
just show up and push the button, and they're
yeah.
like, and action.
Yes, that is your only downfall in your business part of your chart. Like, is that not that you can't do it because you absolutely can. You're capable of anything that you want to do because you're very intelligent and you and very analytical. You can figure things out. Um, but that is not your zone of genius. That is not where you want to focus. It's not what you like. And you
Oh,
do so much better if you just like what you're doing and the part that you like, you excel at. So why do that stupid part? It doesn't even, you shouldn't. It's a waste of time and effort and energy. So yeah, so when you find your team and you really get rolling with that, you're unstoppable. And that is absolutely coming. Like I really do see that completely. And I see your vision being what you want it to be because you're so good at creating. So, because you have a lot of creation energy that you're working with, you know.
sixes.
Yeah, the six is our creation energy, and the seven is the malleable. I can
Yeah,
make reality the way I want it.
it's the spoken word. So
That thing goes off and it's weird. I don't even know how to. Okay, there we go. Okay. Uh,
yeah, the word is the power of creation. That's how
yeah,
we create. So
yeah, yeah. No, I mean, you have a really good chart. I would say your chart scares me a little bit because of the power in it. It's
with great power
definitely,
comes great responsibility, and
yeah.
I understand. I fully understand now. I really do. I've seen a lot over the last 2.5 years, 3 years,
That's
4 years that you know um,
yeah, yeah.
got me to this point. And like I said, it's been a journey of remembrance and remembering the power and the role and who I am at the soul level and
Mm,
why I chose here. You know, understanding my chart, understanding these numbers has all been a confirmation of that.
yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
know,
you have capability of anything you want to do. So
yeah,
like you're somebody that just like you've done a lot already in past lives that you've acquired a whole lot of skills. So like even the things that don't show up in your chart actually are in your chart because you have everything in your chart. Like because you're stacked on the mental and you have nothing in the spiritual or the physical, it means you've completed both of those. So like everything in the mental, that's all good. Like it has its bad sides, but like those are all really big superpower type things. And then you have the gifts of tapping into everything you've accomplished as well. So, I mean, you really are a powerhouse for real. So, and I think people know that. Like, I think people around you
yeah.
probably
I think it intimidates some people, even people that I see as mentors,
know.
as mentors and colleagues. I think it intimidates them a little bit.
I will tell you the thing that I have found to be the most disappointing thing about getting any success at all, because I feel like I have this much, is meeting my mentors. Like meeting the people that I think are doing so good and they're so amazing and they're so wonderful. They're really not. And I've had
Yeah,
a
they're just like you.
well,
They
they're kind of
struggle.
shitty people though, a lot of them.
Yeah,
And
that too.
I've had
That
a
too.
really hard time
I
with
have
that.
one. I have one that's close to me, and
Mhm.
she's very
Mhm.
powerful, understands and has some serious mojo,
Yeah.
and she just don't get it. Just can't get past taking
Yeah.
things personal. Can't get past the fear of outside pressures. Can't get
Yeah.
like,
Well, in competition, like
yeah,
there's
that
a
too.
lot of people that are really competing, and I'm like, dude, who are you competing with? Like, there's billions of people in the world. There's enough clients for all of us. Who cares? No one can compete with you. There's only one you,
Yeah.
but people get so caught up in that. But yeah, that whole saying like don't meet your idols or whatever.
Yeah,
I
you
did
don't want to meet your
not.
superheroes.
I did
Don't want to
not realize that that was a thing until the last few years, and I started working with people that I thought were amazing. And almost every one of them has proven that they're not in a big way, actually. And that really sucks, but it's okay. People are
Yeah,
human,
well, that was
you
it
know.
was it was it was to show you that they're fucking human too.
Yes, they're
They're
human and
fallible,
there's nothing to be
and that,
afraid
that,
of.
that
Yeah,
you really shouldn't put anybody on a pedestal. If you
that's
put
right.
anybody on a pedestal, it should be yourself.
That's right. Yeah. 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 So anyway, I mean, I'm gonna always still work with people. What's
Oh, yeah.
really cool is that I've met a lot of people that are amazing, and I've
Yeah.
met a lot of people that I'm like, wow, you are on the level that I'm on, and I love that. Like, I love people with pure hearts, with who are really doing it for the right reasons, who are not just in it for themselves and their egos and their whatever.
The only reason I tried to legitimize and started an LLC is and to do
Oh,
this is so I could continue to do the work, so it could
so you can
fund the
have
work,
reach. Like,
so it could fund the work
well,
and fund classes and fund,
yeah.
reaching out and going here and doing that.
I mean,
That's
something,
the only way. Because I'm not in this for the money. I'm in this to make, like you said, make
yeah.
change, to be a change agent. That's why I came here.
Well, I tell people all the time, I'm like, there is nothing wrong with the money.
No.
Like this is the thing. I do want to make millions of dollars. And the
Oh,
reason why I want to make millions of dollars, I want it because I want to be happy, but I also want it because I want to start something that's like a movement for a lot of reach, like a lot of people. Like I want to change the world. I'm going to need millions of dollars for that.
yeah, that's
That's
true.
not going to come easy. And so I always tell them, I'm like, that doesn't make me wrong or selfish. That makes me realistic. It like the only way to fulfill my dream to help people on the level that I want to is to make enough money to do that.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
that's just honesty.
Yeah,
So don't
yeah.
feel bad about wanting that,
No, I don't.
you
And like
know?
I said, it's not why I do it, but
Yeah.
it's the byproduct of doing it, and
And you
it's
should
and
absolutely
it'll
do it.
fund me being able to continue to do it. So but
Absolutely. And
yeah,
that's
taken.
and if I can give you any advice, protect your work. Make sure that you copyright it. Make sure that you have very strong contracts. I am actually in a legal battle with one of my students right now. So actually two of my students, I have to send cease and desist right now. Um, so yeah, I'm going through it because people try to steal your work all the time and you have to be careful. And I didn't realize I had to have such strong contracts until now. So yeah, so do that now. Do it before you end up having a problem, because it's a big deal when you have to. And what really sucks is that it's people that you love. Like it's people that you would not think would disrespect you on the level that they do, and then they do, and it sucks. Like it really sucks. But
Yeah, yeah.
people
That's one of the people that I'm looking to work with, that I've actually inspired them to take off on their purpose, their life path, what they want to do most in life, which is start a production company.
yeah, it's
You
awesome.
and to do the podcast, to expand the reach, to produce video and content for me, and so.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and she's like, she was the one that said, I want you to have an actual legitimate company that we can have some contractual, because I'm not working with anybody without a contract. I'm like, okay, I get it.
Oh
That
yeah,
makes sense.
it's so
It
important.
makes sense.
Yeah.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. So
So much more important than I realized. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, all right. Well, I will send you a copy of the chart that I drew. I will send you this video. And if you have any questions that come up, of course, I'm always around. So, all right. All
All right, Tammy,
right.
thank you.
All
Have a
right.
great
Have a
day.
great day. Bye.
Bye.